Hey team! Today I'm going to show you how to floss for lower back relief. So you will want to have 2 blocks. If you don't have 2 blocks, you can get creative. You can use a ledge or the wall and maybe a pillow underneath of your head later on. So you don't need to have these, but they're nice to have. Start off lying down on your back, and we're going to come into a classic figure 4, but we're getting flossy with it. So instead of just being passive here and pulling in as tightly as you can, I want you to actually push your ankle away and start to feel into this outer hip. Create a little tension there. You can puff your elbows out to the sides, kind of beach ball arms, and we're just gonna do a little rock from side to side. Feels so good. I could be here all day. As we're rocking side to side, I want you to feel into where you're getting that sweet relief. Feel free to make micro adjustments at your thigh bone. So we want to be putting that effort all the way along the flank stake right here. This is my gallbladder channel. You can see it on my leggings. This is what we're tracking. And we're also rocking around a little on your hip girdle. Feel really nice for your lower back. Maybe IT band tension starts to dissipate. All right, then moving on from there, take 1 block or ledge, put it underneath of your foot, and to make your arms feel a little longer, you can put a block or a pillow behind your head. Still kind of focusing on this hip area, slightly different place, just a little bit more behind. Press your knee open, reach up and grab the outside part of your leg, and as your knee continues to pull open, I want you to draw your knee to your opposite shoulder. Ooh, let it feel really juicy. We like to get all juiced up in our tissues here. Flossing lets the juices flow. So that's what I'm after here. It's really important to me to feel the beginning of the range. I'm like winding up the muscle here, and then I keep that muscle hugging me as I pull it across to my shoulder. It would feel a little bit mundane if I were just kind of passively bringing it in, and for hypermobile folks, being passive here might actually end up creating some gripping or tension in the front of your hip. So by activating on the outside, keeping that outside edge active, we're supporting our joints, we're supporting our tissues, and we're getting a much more complete feeling stretch. And it feels so much more satisfying. Okay, so like anywhere from 10 to 100 of these on your own. Do what feels good for you there. And then, let's shake that out. I'm gonna move my blocks off to the side just to slice and dice and check it out. So holding on to the back of your leg, kick your hamstring away from you and let it just rock you up. Thinking about a magnet, heel to the ground, and I'm rocking back, just back and forth. I don't know why this one always makes me think of air guitar or something, but picturing like air guitar. Don't get too like perfectionistic about this one, just kind of have fun with it, rock and roll. If you are very hypermobile, let's focus on the up phase where you're really kicking your leg down to take yourself up. It'll be easy to pull your leg in towards your chest, no problem, that's old school, but we're thinking about what we can do to kick away and build more support. Okay, so let's just check that out in a down dog super fast. Notice if you can tell a difference in your sides and in your back. And then let's do the other side. Make sure your props are handy for you. We're gonna start out with our classic gallbladder or pigeon stretch. Pressing your ankle towards your leg, press away, and then puff out those elbows and rock from side to side. Woo! It's kind of fun. You could tip all the way over to your elbow and pop back up. Or you could find like the balance, like teetering on the edge of reason here. Have a little more control. I don't know. I just like to play here. Just feeling into what your hip girdle needs, what your back needs, and staying engaged. I could be here forever once again, but let's come to the center. You're gonna pop a block just underneath of your bottom foot, and you could have a pillow under your head or something like that. Keep the crossing of your leg, then press your knee open Take both hands to the outside and floss your lateral hamstring here. Lateral is such a fancy way of saying like outside edge, to the side lateral. That's what we're working on, that outside hamstring. You may also feel this continuing into your hip. If you feel any pinching in the front, play with your angles and your range of motion, play with your pelvis position. There's so many different ways that you can tailor this to what you're feeling, and your feel is going to be your guide. That's where all your power is in this practice. Let's take one or two more. Alrighty dighty, let's take those blocks out of the way. Holding onto the back of your leg, press that hamstring down. Oh, rocking yourself up. Keep that energy kicking down as you slice back. What do we call this? A slice and dice? That's what I'm doing. Or air guitar, rock star. Rocking through your back. Kind of fun. On this side, I really want to play with some angles. I don't know why, so I'm adding that sampler platter for you. Let's take two more or so. And then rock it all the way up. Okay, one last thing here. Take your two blocks, your water bottles, your props, whatever you need. If you have nothing, you could just take your hands down to the floor. Right foot is forward. So we know our classic monkey pose, right, from yoga, but these are monkey pumps. We're kicking that front heel down. Imagine you could kick that heel up towards your booty. So your hamstring is awake, alive, and energized. And you begin to sit back towards your half monkey pump. Save enough juice to pull yourself forward again. Again, if you tend to be very mobile, and I'd like you to focus on the wind up at the top. Feel those muscles contracting and supporting you, and then stay in the midst of that support as you go back. I find that this one gets juicier the more I do it. It takes me about 5 to actually start getting into it. This is a really stubborn tissue for a lot of people, and we probably have a lot of movement patterns that we have movement patterns that are kind of like common for us, and they've become workarounds. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I want you to try to really get into the feel and into the midst of your leg. Let's just do 2 more, but you can do 100 more. I'll be doing 1,000 more by the end of the week, if I'm lucky. Infinite more in my lifetime. Okay, I think I gave you more than 2, but this stretch gets kind of addicting for me. Okay, shake it out. Booty. Let's try the other side. Step it forward. Remember, you're swiping that heel back. If it's hard to feel that in the beginning, just put a hand on the back of your leg and you can feel that your hamstring is working for you. Gives your brain a little extra signal. Again, if you tend to be very mobile here, rather than letting your chest sink down and focusing on the ends of this stretch, try lifting up out of it. I found so much relief in my hip, in the front of my hip, when I first started doing this by finding the up. Good, keep going. Just so you know, you can play a little bit just like we did with all of our other stretches. You can play with your angles a little to find the sweet spots. So my toes, knee turning out just a little bit. I'm getting more to the lateral side again. Remember, lateral, outside. You could turn your toes in a little bit and get more towards the medial side, inside. All right, that's probably enough of that. Go ahead and have a seat. Just check out how you feel, and thanks for tuning in.